Shibai Ōtsutsuki is arguably the most powerful character ever introduced in the Naruto-Boruto universe, even though, paradoxically, he has almost never been seen in action. He represents the pinnacle of the Ōtsutsuki clan, a being who has supposedly transcended physical limitations and reached a galactic level. Shibai is an ancient member of the Ōtsutsuki clan who, according to the story revealed in Boruto, spent millennia traveling from planet to planet, absorbing chakra fruits produced by the Ten Tails. Each fruit increased his power, his biological evolution, and his godlike abilities. The key point here is that Shibai wasn't just a strong Ōtsutsuki like Momoshiki, Ishiki, or Kagaya. He continued his evolution for thousands of years, eventually becoming something entirely different. According to the lore, he ultimately reached a level where his physical body was no longer even necessary. He supposedly transcended his physical form to evolve into a higher, almost spiritual or dimensional existence. Basically, he evolved so far that he literally left the physical plane. This is already a level beyond anything we've seen in Naruto. Why is he so important? Because many of Boruto's most absurd powers seem to originate from him. The scientist Amato recovered the biological remains of Shibai's body and used them to create or enhance several characters. For example, demons supposedly receive an ability derived from Shibai, the automatic reflection of murderous intentions. Ida also possesses powers derived from him, including his partial omniscience and uncontrollable charm. The omnipotence phenomenon, responsible for the life swap between Boruto and Kawaki, is supposedly linked to an original power of Shibai's. In short, even in his absence, Shibai already influences the entire current storyline. His power, why is he broken? Shibai masters what are called shinjutsu, literally divine techniques. Unlike classic ninjutsu, which requires chakra, hand seals, or technical execution, shinjutsu function almost like automatic miracles. For example, creating storms or natural phenomena effortlessly, manipulating space-time, seeing through dimensions, rewriting reality through omnipotence, possessing abilities that are virtually impossible to counter. And the most terrifying thing, he can do all this without forming a single hand seal. While Naruto, Sasuke, Madara, or even Ishiki remain extremely powerful fighters, Shibai seems to be in a league of his own. And yet, the gap between Shibai and the others could be enormous. That's the big theory. Officially, Shibai has supposedly transcended his body and is no longer physically present. But there are several narrative possibilities. 1. A physical return. Amato possesses Shibai's biological data. Some believe he could attempt a resurrection, a clone, or a vessel based on his DNA. 2. A spiritual manifestation. Since Shibai abandoned his physical body, he could exist in another form, cosmic consciousness, a dimensional presence, or an observing entity. 3. Boruto's final boss. This is probably the most popular theory. The story seems to be gradually moving beyond simple ninja conflicts towards something much more cosmic. And if Boruto fully develops karma, the Jogen and Momoshiki's powers, he could be prepared to face a threat, for an even more complex threat. Shibai might not even be a classic villain. He could represent a form of absolute evolution for the Ōtsutsuki, with a worldview incomprehensible to humans. In conclusion, Shibai Ōtsutsuki is the absolute pinnacle of power scaling in Boruto, a former Ōtsutsuki who has become so powerful that he has transcended the need for a physical body and transformed his techniques into godlike phenomena. Even in his absence, he already influences almost every major event in the manga through the powers of Ida, Demon, and Omnipotence. And if the story continues in this direction, there's a strong chance he will become the ultimate threat in the entire Naruto-Boruto universe.